City of Frankfort Board of Commissioners regular voting meeting for March is called to order. Today's March 23rd. It's 5 p.m. and we'll begin. For all those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Unger?
Here.
Commissioner May?
Here.
Commissioner Sidwell?
Here.
Mayor Roberson?
Present. And we do not have any ceremonial recognition tonight. We do have the citizens' comments. I'll invite Katricia Waldridge up to the podium. Reminder, we give you 5 minutes. We'll give you a 1-minute warning.
It's okay, I won't need it. Good evening, my name is Katricia Waldridge. I'm a resident here in Frankfort. I just wanted to come, as I did last time, in speaking in regards to what is on your action items for second reading for your Ethics Committee and your statute of limitations. So I voiced my opinion on that and gave several different options that we could use, one being the 4+1, 4, which is the term of the mayor, plus 1 year after, also being that which is the amount of years after that particular person steps down. So I just ask that you look into that, at least doing, since the term for mayor is 4 years and the longest, I think it should just be 4 years, at least plus 1 after 1 term of a mayor. So I ask that hopefully you'll vote in that favor to make those changes. And I just want to appreciate Commissioner Richardson for discussing this with me and talking with me. I appreciate you hearing that and doing your digging and following up with me on some of this information, as well as Ms. Milam. Thank you so very much in answering my questions and getting this figured out. But as long as we still have that one line in there that says from the moment that someone finds out that something has been unethical, then they have within a year to react. So, and that stays. So thank you so very much.
And thank you. We now move on to the consent calendar.
Mayor, first, could we, staff request that item number 8, fiscal year 26 resurfacing list from Public Works be pulled from the consent calendar? We're still working out some contractual details.
What was that?
The resurfacing list, item number 8 on consent, is requesting that be pulled.
All right, any objection from the board to remove that at staff request? Okay, seeing none.
Item number 1, minutes work session February 9th, 2026, regular meeting February 23rd, 2026. Item number 2 is a purchase of a flusher truck from the Streets Department, Public Works. Street Department is seeking approval for the purchase of a new flusher truck from Stringfellow and authorize the mayor to sign audited documents. Total cost is $243,977. A budget amendment will need to be made as the purchase was not included in the fiscal year 26 budget. This will be replacing a flusher truck that is over 26 years old. Item number 3 is a professional services contract with Hazen and Sawyer for FEMA assistance with the sewer department. Staff recommends a professional services contract with Hazen and Sawyer, PSC, to assist FSD with FEMA assessments, claims, and reports in the amount of $200,000 and authorize the mayor to sign audit-related documents. This contract is not budgeted for fiscal year 25-26, but all engineering fees are eligible for FEMA reimbursement. Item number 4, professional services agreement, amendment number 1 with Lovo Systems Incorporated, Fort Boone Sewer. Staff recommends amendment number 1 for the Lovo Systems Incorporated and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Total cost of the proposal amendment number 1 is $42,450. These services are budgeted in fiscal year 25-26. Item number 5, conditional commitment letter, A26-012 with the Kentucky Infrastructure for $18,793,409 to fund the construction of the lower PC3 project. Staff recommends the conditional commitment letter for the assistance agreement for $18,793,409 with 30% of the principal be forgiven, with the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority be approved and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. This is a project expense and is budgeted in fiscal year 25-26. Item number 6, contract with H&A Resources for biosolids disposal sewer department. Staff recommends a contract with H&A Resources to dispose of biosolids and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Total cost for yearly cost is $261,612. This will allow the contract to run through fiscal year '27. This is a budgeted item. Item number 7 is Lucas 3 CPR devices, Fire Department. Staff requested Board of Commissioners approve the acquisition of 2 Stryker brand mechanical CPR devices and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Total cost $45,415. These funds will come out of the telecom tax and will not affect the general budget. Moving on to item number 9, 2026 special events MOUs. Staff request authorization for the City of Frankfort to enter into the following memorandums of agreement for community events in 2026 and to authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Japan Festival MOU, DFI Event Series, Jazz Festival, Capitol Pride, Bourbon on the Banks Festival, Veterans Day Parade, and Kentucky History Day. Item number 10, a purchase of 6 Cutaway Buses Transit. Staff requested Board of Commissioners approval to purchase 6 replacement buses from Tesco via KPTA bid number 12 and to authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Frankfort Transit was awarded a 5339 grant in the amount of $998,439 to purchase 6 Cutaway buses. This grant is 100% reimbursed by KYTC. Item number 11 are personnel actions. We have appointment, Andrew Drain, Garage, 2/24/2026 mechanic. Appointment, Isabel Davis, E911, 3/10/2026, E911 telecommunicator. Appointment, Mike Perkins, Public Works Transit, 3/24/2026 transit driver, non-CDL. Resignation, Emily Bass, Police, 3/28/2026 patrol officer. Resignation, Jason Soto, Public Works, Solid Waste, 3/23/2026, Public Works, Tech, Solid Waste. Resignation of Stephen Kyles, Police, 3/30/2026, Police Sergeant, authorized payout of accrued leave. Resignation, Travis Lamb, Sewer, 3/6/2026, Plant Operator. And termination, Jarrell David Warner, Public Works Transit, 2/12/2026, Transit Driver.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, and to clarify this, the motion to approve consent calendar excluding the
Excluding.
resurfacing list.
Yeah.
And a second. And any discussion? If none, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Abstain.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and the consent calendar is adopted. Next, boards and appointments. We have one tonight. It's Board of Ethics, the appointment of Tom Midkiff with a term expiring December 31st, 2028.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, any discussion on this board appointment? Commissioner Richardson?
Yeah, I've known Tom a long time. I spoke to him on the phone. Several people that know him, his references. I think this is a good appointment. Like I said, I've known him since the early 90s. I actually credit him for entering a Roth IRA. He got my wife and I into that. He worked for Farmers Bank at the time, to tell you what, a long time. So I've known him a long time. Spoke to him on the phone. It was really good to catch up with him. I think he understands the importance of this appointment. He has served prior on different boards, but I think not to put any board above any. I would never do that like I would in a department, but ethics, having come from a law enforcement background, I think he understood my passion with serving with the utmost ethical character. So I really am glad that he's willing to put himself out there and serve once again.
Any other discussion? All right, I'll ask the clerk to call for the vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that motion carries, and thank you, Tom. And next, moving on to action items.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 20, 2025 series appropriating the revenue to be received by the city of Frankfort for fiscal year 25-26. This ordinance amends ordinance number 20, 2025 series appropriating the revenue to be received by the city of Frankfort for the fiscal year 25-26 by adding the following expenditures and transfers out as noted. General Fund, $904,853. Transfers from General Fund, $354,762 to Grant Fund 745. Capital Improvements, $29,809. Sewer Fund, $956,626, sorry. And by adding the following revenue and transfers in, as noted above, General Fund, $10,000, and these are all aggregate totals.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on this budget ordinance? Seeing none? Clerk?
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that ordinance is adopted. Action item number 2, I'm going to have to recuse myself. It's, I believe, a direct result of a successful suit against the Board of Ethics on my part. So I will abstain or recuse myself altogether.
Abstain.
Yeah.
Okay. An ordinance amending City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances, Section 39.20, relating to limitation of actions before the Board of Ethics. This ordinance amends Section 39.20 of the City of Frankfort Ethics Code to specify the conditions under which proceedings can be initiated before the Board of Ethics and establish a 4-year statute of limitations for bringing such proceedings measured from the date of the alleged violation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this motion?
Aye.
Question.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
You can go ahead, Commissioner Richardson.
Okay.
I'm in favor of redoing this. I've spoke with city attorney about this, but I at least would like to see this to go to 5 years. Being that commissioners' terms are 2 years, if you do a 1 term, that's 2 years after that 1 term. The mayoral terms are 4 years. At least there will be a cushion of that year after mayoral term. I have looked online and done some research by calling other cities. A lot of cities have 5 years for that same reason, because of the mayor's term, where a lot of cities our size have the same makeup. I actually contacted a lot with city management form of government, but I would like to see that change to 5 years. Other than that, I have no issue with it.
Oh, my turn? Okay.
You're in charge.
I think you should.
I'm in the midst of a thought too, so I'm like, okay. Anybody else have any more discussion on this? I'm cool with leaving it the way it is. I've talked to a couple municipalities and I'm okay with the way it's written, but I will also let you all, but if not, we can take a vote, correct? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Richardson?
No.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
And the mayor
And the mayor
abstains.
And I abstain.
Motion carries.
All right. Action item number 3.
Action item number 3 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with the Franklin County Fiscal Court for the sharing of animal control and service in the city of Frankfort. Currently, the city is obligated through their contract with the Humane Society to provide animal control within city limits. We had a part-time animal control officer with a few months, or several months ago. We separated ways from that employee, and the county has been covering us. And with me working with Deputy Judge Kennedy, we figured that it only needs about it's about a one-person job, animal control countywide. And we thought this was a better way to better serve the citizens and financially help. So we're splitting the cost with them, similar to how we do the electrical inspector. So it's no more cost to the city as far as a part-time employee. And it would be the county's employee at that point.
Well,
Motion to approve.
Second.
okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Richardson?
That part-time equivalent pay, whose budget does that come out of?
So we used to have that in PD's budget, but Amber and I have discussed putting that in the same budget, which I can't remember if it's in city manager or in city commission budget where the Humane Society contract is. That's where that should lie.
So it doesn't fall on us.
I can't remember exactly. Amber, do you remember? I don't remember if it's in city manager or in commission budget.
Okay.
But it used to be in police department.
And you know
budget.
why I asked, because it used to be in the PD budget.
Yeah, so it is no
And I
longer in
don't
the
really
PD
think
budget, it's
that's where
gonna be
it
an
needs to be.
administrative budget.
Yeah.
Commissioner Unger?
Quick question. So we'd be paying half of the budget of the position, and also, did I see 10,000 for vehicle expense?
Yes,
Okay.
it's, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna also ask if we need backup. I heard we might, be training an officer, or would that be our backup?
Yeah, right now, currently, even in our old system, having two, if there wasn't one available, then officers would be the backup.
Okay.
But, like I said, this has been going on for several months, and Deputy Judge Kennedy and I have spoken several times about the nature of this, and it seems to work having the one. And it was just more cost-effective for both governments to split that cost. And this is the exact same agreement that we do for electrical inspection.
Okay, can I just follow up to that
Yeah,
too?
sure.
I would just like to thank Richard Sandifer for the job he's been doing, and also for his help at the crosswalk for the schools. He does a great job.
I guess my question is, how many months have we been doing it this way, or is it,
We've probably been doing this for about 8 months now with that,
so we feel pretty confident?
feel pretty
that
confident one is the thing.
We're not going to be overrun with animals after this?
Correct. And I will say that we have no complaints or anything operating this way from the Humane Society. Everything's been smooth sailing.
Any other discussion, questions? If not, I'll ask the clerk to call for the vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that resolution is adopted. Action item number 4.
We have the fiscal year 2027 Transportation Grants Resolution. Staff requests adoption of a resolution authorizing submission of fiscal year 2027 transit grant application under Section 5311 Operating Capital, 5339 Capital, and RTAP Training to the U.S. Department of Transportation, committing the required local share and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. When adding up all the shares, it looks like 1,429,227 would be the city local share.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that is, this resolution is adopted. Action item number 5.
Parks Department surplus property order. Staff is seeking Board of Commissioners approval for the Parks Department to surplus an F-250 from Department 83 Downtown Division and for the mayor to sign all related documents.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion on the surplus?
Is this truck, it's no good whatsoever?
Yeah, it's really run down, Sean, yeah.
Yeah, they can't, there's something wrong with the fuel tank, and they can't get it.
Okay. Well, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
the
think of
garage- the
maybe
garage is
different,
deemed this.
you know where I'm going with this, right?
It's not usable.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I'm-
garage is deemed this one unusable.
Okay, all right.
There is a website, pardon me for interrupting, that you can utilize for used vehicles as well. Government vehicles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we had a motion and a second, correct? All right, I'll ask the clerk to call for the vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that order is adopted. Action item number 6.
Declaration of handgun as surplus, Police Department. Staff is seeking Board of Commissioner approval to declare one city-owned handgun as surplus for buyback by Captain Kenneth Keith and follow the department's gun buyback policy. And request the mayor sign all related documents.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that is adopted. Action item number 7.
Number 7, an amended order establishing the City of Frankfort Technology Innovation and Sustainability Committee. This is what I presented on at the work session, just finding a place for those sustainability solutions to land in one of our committees. And we had discussed this in that committee, and it's just approving that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Richardson got the motion, second.
It was a tie, so I could,
Okay,
you can pick whoever.
Smith Willis. the
Okay.
second.
Was there a special call? Was there a special call meeting from that? For some reason, I have it written down about a special call meeting associated with this in my notes, but it could be.
We need to have one in the next week or two. I was gonna get with the mayor
Got
and
it.
Commissioner May to set some dates.
Okay.
To go over the records.
Thank you.
digitization. Yeah, great to watch.
All right. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Okay. Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that is the end of action item, well, that motion carries, and that's the end of action items. We're moving on to unfinished business. We still have solid waste discussion out there. If we- Sarah Anderson to come, Public Works Director extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire, I like that.
I think Sarah handed you all a handout as
Yeah.
well. A lot of numbers
Yeah,
on
I
that.
gave everyone a new handout. It's very similar to what I emailed to everybody, whenever that was. There's one added page, page 2? Yes. I had previously given you the first page, the do-nothing costs, which was keeping services in-house but not making any improvements, not trying to go to weekly recycling, not handling the administration of that program any differently. And then page 2 is actually, if the service is kept in-house, how we'd prefer to have it budgeted, staffed, everything. So kind of I call it beefed up services. You know, ultimately getting back to weekly recycling, additional staff and facility upgrades. So that's new. On pages 3 and 4 is where you're looking at numbers related to the RFP for privatization. All the values highlighted in yellow are costs associated with biweekly recycling, and all the highlights in green are costs associated with weekly recycling, so that it was easier to kind of compare those numbers. Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot to say. What kind of questions or thoughts, comments do you guys have? What questions do you have that you need answered in order to choose a direction?
Does anybody have any questions, or how would we like to proceed?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I don't have any questions. I'm ready to make a motion.
I don't have any questions. I do want to thank you for all the hard work that you've put into
No
this
problem.
information and our repetitive questions that we've had as a commission. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm good.
Yeah,
Yes,
Commissioner
ma'am.
Unger.
Quick question.
Yes.
So to make sure I understand page 3, where it
Yes.
says year 2 final cost, the low end, which was the biweekly recycling, and the high end of weekly.
Yes.
So costs from year 1 to year 2 would jump up.
So those calculated values, we'll just round it to an even 4 million. That includes the calculated value for the contract itself, so the actual collection services. It does not include any revenue received from selling the fleet, because that would have happened previously. And it includes the staffing costs to maintain every single staff member that is currently employed. So although that 1.45 million for staffing costs, that would not actually be all housed in solid waste, but it would, be spread out throughout various areas in the city. I just wanted to include that. Of course,
So-
that number is subject to change if people leave immediately or throughout the year.
So these year 1 and year 2 final costs at the bottom include maintaining staff prices, or it's
Include maintaining in the full staffing level that's there now, not necessarily in solid waste,
so
again.
so this is saying by year 2, if we just keep biweekly recycling, it's gonna cost very similar to what it costs now? Am I looking at that right?
Yeah, so
To go
if you're looking at year two, you said biweekly? If you're looking at year two biweekly, you're looking at, like 3.8, 3.9 million, all in. If you go to the page two, the in-house, you're looking at 3.8 for us to keep it. And of course, the regular staffing, vehicles, maintenance, all of that.
So, Commissioner May?
I apologize if you've answered this in the
okay.
past. How much of the projected budget for keeping it in-house are we factoring in for the critical pieces to operate, the trucks, things like that? How much of that money is set aside to where if one of those goes down in the budget?
I don't have my
Do
breakdown.
we know roughly?
The vehicle maintenance costs. In our operating budget,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have that
Okay.
Looks
at
like
the top
Amber's
of my.
typing back there to find it.
Is Amber finding it?
I had it in my other, but it was
Yeah,
substantial. It was,
it's pretty big.
it was a substantial amount.
Yeah,
It does say capital includes 1 to 2 vehicles a year, $450,000 to $900,000. That's going to be built into the projected 26 budget
correct,
of the 2.39 million.
correct.
Okay. That does answer my question.
Well, it's not built into the operating budget, it's built into the overall. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
Commissioner Richardson?
I might add, in the 10th of March, Amber sent me, I've got a estimated reserves. And, we've got about $2.3 million already allocated out of our reserves. We're looking to end with about $1 million, and that's above the 11.1 that we have to hold back. And we're projecting, now this is not, I'm not including the funds that that we have the overage on, and I don't even know how to quote that, Amber, what it was, the workers' comp and. Yeah. What I do know is sitting on both the Finance Committee and the Public Safety Committee, we have some other things to consider buying, and that's kind of where my decision with this sanitation is. I don't know if we can afford to buy 2 trucks. And then, to me, in-house, keeping it, that's not fair to our employees. Is one thing that I do know, when I was at the police department, I just want to be given the proper equipment to do my job. And if we can't, I'm not saying we can't do it, but it's going to take away from somewhere that may be vital that we need. And I'm not pitting an ambulance or a police car against a garbage truck, but, I just really think, I
Yeah.
think this is just the way to go. Go ahead, I'm
To
sorry.
that point, you were talking about adequate equipment and staffing. I know we're looking at just 1 or 2 years here, but if we are going to keep this in-house, we need to be prepared to adequately fund it yearly, not just this first year. It needs to be something that, we've got this full fleet of vehicles, so it needs to be that those are replaced on a more regular schedule than they've been in the past. And again, it's not about you guys, but in the past, 10-plus years. Yeah.
And my question to that end, what do you estimate we would need to fund it annually above and beyond the capital?
Above and beyond the
2 new
capital.
trucks a year probably on
Probably,
average,
yes.
plus what else would be needed?
2 new trucks a year. The facility itself is in need of some upgrades. It doesn't have any security. There's no camera, well, there are a few cameras. There's not enough cameras. There's no fencing. The actual building itself has no true ventilation, so it's not as useful as it could be. It's fairly uncomfortable to work in. Just regular maintenance of the facility itself. Included in that is 2 additional staff, 1 tech and 1 admin. We haven't talked about the call volume a lot in here. Belinda is out this week. So I sat at her desk for 2 hours this morning and returned 25 phone calls. All but 1 were about trash, and I was not able to get back to her desk since that time, and she has received over 75 since then. So we want a dedicated admin for
And what are they calling about?
trash, just everything.
Missing?
My cart's gone missing, just questions about schedules, questions about bulk pickups, yard waste, et cetera, yeah.
And that's not factored into the annual cost of having a
The
separate...
additional
Yeah,
admin for
having-
solid waste is, yes.
May I ask a question?
Not, I mean, I guess you weren't here for the citizens' comments
I
at the
think he
beginning.
came in late.
Right. All right. I'd like to speak. Okay. Well, we have somebody speaking now. I guess you can ask the question, but we usually have citizens' comments at the beginning or end, but, yeah.
I don't know your protocols.
All right, you can ask it to us. How about
So I'm
that?
trying to ask.
It's outside of the protocol. How about that? But what is the question?
Well, I'm trying to learn a little bit as well, but I was wondering in some aspects of, have you all looked at other avenues as opposed to doing that? It's like, I don't know, like, from where I stand, it looks like there's several contracts in one waste field. And I've also been hearing that, and I don't know how true this is, that the waste is either going in Frankfort's landfill or it's being transported to Scott County, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Do you want me to address that?
Yes, please.
So currently, all of the trash that is collected goes to the landfill here in Franklin County.
Okay.
The only thing that's transported out is collected recyclables. They're collected here and sorted here, and then they are transported to Lexington to the
What about
municipal.
incineration? Has that ever been brought up?
Not directly, no.
They stopped doing that years ago. They used to do that back in the 60s or 70s here.
But it would help with the recycling and incineration as well as the pickup.
Well, that's something we're not in the business.
30%
Yeah.
of 100% is, it's turned into, 70% is, gone. And all of that ash, I don't know, something to think about.
All right, and that's not what we're considering tonight, though. It's really not the privatizing. You got a question, comment?
Yeah, I had something prepared that I'd like to say.
Can you do it from there?
Yes, I could. First off, this meeting for public input was supposed to be.
What's your name?
My name's Alec Fern.
Okay.
I'm a local property
yeah.
owner. This was supposed to be for public input last Tuesday, but it was canceled without notice.
What was that?
The public input for people to speak on whether or not there was gonna be.
The
charge
Public
for
Works and
trash.
Infrastructure Committee
Oh,
meeting.
okay, gotcha. Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I feel that local landlords and property owners should be able to have a chance to speak on this before you all vote in order to go in whatever direction you're going to, because this is gonna affect us quite a bit, so.
Okay,
Mayor, if he's going to speak, I'd suggest we time so that he doesn't get more time than the
Okay.
others. That's okay.
we're gonna start timing 5 minutes.
Okay.
And
Well, before I get into my concerns, I'd like to note that this meeting was scheduled at what feels like an inconvenient time. And residents I've spoken with didn't know this was happening until recently, if at all. When scheduling important decisions like this, when turnout is naturally low, make it hard for people to have their voices heard. It's a major change that affects every household, and transparency and broad public participation should be the priority, not rushing it through. When people can't show up, you'll have to excuse me, I had to run here because I wasn't aware that this was happening. I'm Alec Fern, and I live and own property here in Frankfort. I'm here this evening to speak strongly against any plan to start charging residents for trash and recycling pickup. We just bought a new recycling truck less than 6 months ago, and taxpayers have already paid for that equipment, along with multi-purpose trucks now handling both trash and recycling. We invested in this infrastructure so we could keep this service. So why are we now being asked to pay a second time every month? Second, I pay the exact same property tax rates as residents in the old city and downtown. Yet if this fee passes while the city continues to handle trash and recycling for downtown residents, I and thousands like me will be receiving less service for the same tax dollars. That is simply not fair. Third, this new fee will be a huge financial burden on small-time landlords and single-family homeowners. I own and live in a duplex and already bought my 2 carts. What happens to those cans if the city switches to a private hauler that requires different equipment? Do I just eat that? And the bigger picture, we own approximately 33 units here in this city, and this is what that would cost me and my family every year at the rate you're proposing, from $18.99 to $33.87 a month. At $18.99, that is $7,520 a year. At $33.87, that is $13,000, $412 a year. That is real money coming straight out of the pockets of small landlords. Many of us have no choice but to raise rent or sell properties, hurting working families who already struggle with housing costs. Finally, I'm deeply worried about what will happen when people cannot or will not pay. We will see more illegal dumping in our creeks, waterways, and out in the county. Cleanup will cost this city even more taxpayer dollars, and it will damage our beautiful Kentucky River watershed. Charging people for a basic service that used to be covered by the taxes we already pay is a recipe for exactly that problem. This is not saving money, it's double dipping. Property taxes already fund this service, so adding a monthly bill on top of that is just a hidden tax increase that hits the hardest the people who can least afford it. Single parents, fixed income seniors, and small landlords like us trying to provide affordable housing. Frankfort has always been proud to offer this as a community service. We recently invested in new trucks and equipment. Now is the time to keep it that way. Efficient, fair, and funded the way it has always been. I respectfully urge you all to vote no on any residential or trash recycling fees. Keep the service we've already paid for with our taxes, protect our environment from increased dumping, and stand with the families and small landlords who call Frankfort home. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Fern. And I want to point out that I don't think we're talking about
No.
No.
charging a fee for this.
No.
So
Can I say something?
I should have said
we-
that at the beginning,
can
but,
we-
Still,
I mean, this is something that we would pay as a city and not, as far as I know, no one else has talked about that.
it was in the paper.
And this is our city
You're-
commission meeting, which we do with regularity at 5 PM or 3 PM, depending on the work session. I mean, if we do it at 3 PM, people say it's inconvenient. If we do it at 5 PM, people say it's inconvenient. So
Initially,
that's-
it was from a 10 a.m. meeting last Tuesday. That was
Can we
Can I
address
speak?
that?
Can I speak? Can we
Commissioner
speak to that?
Richardson had his hand up.
Okay, first off, I've encouraged the public to quit reading the newspaper. The newspaper put that out there, and it was absolutely detrimental to the city. I've received 100 phone calls. At no time did any one of us up here talk about. The reason we wanted to show the cost was to compare it to what we are currently paying, what your tax dollars paying. That was really a number, and the paper puts out a survey. No one ever said that. No one ever said that up here, and I'll defend that. I'm very frustrated. Your passion on that, I agree with you. And I will vote, if tonight a motion comes up that we're gonna make citizens pay, I will vote no. I never once said that. In fact, no one up here said that. We're trying to be the most efficient with tax dollar we can. But garbage isn't the only issue we're dealing with in a budget. So again, I hope the paper quotes me. I am sorely disappointed, which I have worked in this town and lived here long enough that I wouldn't expect any different. So again, that's the way I feel about the newspaper. Sorry.
Commissioner Smith Willis.
Oh, Commissioner Unger, you can go too. You can go first. Oh, no,
Colin.
no. I just wanted to follow up and say thank you for running down here to voice your thoughts and concerns. I personally appreciate the feedback. I personally did not want to put a fee onto the community. That's not something that I personally want to do myself as also a constituent. I am a single mother, and this is also a bill that's going to be added on to my household as well. But I do, to Commissioner Richardson's point, I do think we just wanted to see all the angles and avenues that we had. And I was gonna ask you, Sarah, there was an option that we talked about that I think more of us were more inclined to lean towards, was to privatize, but also to foot the bill as the city, not to put it on to you all. So just to that point, I do appreciate your feedback. I am on the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee. I was out of town, so I think that's why I got canceled. It's something that tonight, if you said that, I probably would have, again, unfortunately, Sarah tabled it so we could at least hear more of the community. So I do apologize that on my end. So thank you for rushing down here, and I really appreciate you. But I also did not say I wanted to put a fee on the household. So thank you.
Commissioner Unger.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank both of you for coming down. I have been a little shocked that some residents didn't even realize we were discussing this until, yes, in the State Journal. So anytime I can talk to somebody one-on-one, I have done that in public, you know. Do you want to privatize? You want to keep it in-house? I've heard both. You know, some people are willing to pay to keep it in-house. And I want to go ahead and say that I would prefer not to privatize right now, because I just know if we decide to privatize, we have no control on what that looks like moving forward. And there's really no way we could ever bring it back in-house unless we just have, you know, $20 million sitting around. So this is a huge decision that I am not willing to rush on. And I also feel like we have not necessarily internally discussed how we could keep operations in-house while looking at efficiencies. I do appreciate this beefed up budget. It gives me a much better idea. But I just wanted to go ahead and put it out there. I feel like there's plenty of, while I am so proud of our solid waste department, I mean, I get more than anything, I get like praise for what our department does. And I honestly, I know that some changes could be made. Some things could be worked on, things could be analyzed, but I just feel like at the moment, this sort of, it feels like an easy way out to privatize just because other communities are doing it, and there is an initial cost savings, but I don't think that is going to remain moving forward. I mean, look at just the state of the world at the moment. So, I mean, that's where I am. If we are going to vote to privatize today, I am a no, because I feel like there are bigger and broader conversations about how to improve internal services. And also, we're talking about privatization. Well, we could privatize all kinds of different things at the city if we want to look at cost savings in that very easy way. So, thank you.
And I want to weigh in too and just say, we're talking about privatizing, but really what we're talking about is outsourcing this one service that the city provides to a third party. And I think when people hear privatizing, they hear, they think the public's going to start paying that again. We haven't talked about that, but really it's outsourcing. Now, I'm with Commissioner Unger. I don't think we've done enough to really, we already have the service in-house, and I think that staff takes pride in that. I think a lot of the people in the community take pride in that, and we still have an opportunity to make the investments we need to bring it up to the standards that would be, even more proud of. But that's not what we're hearing from, I think from our leadership. It's like, I feel like we're getting the privatization is the solution. And, as much as I want to make the investments to do more, I don't know if the staff's giving us that option right now. I think it seems like they're suggesting privatization is the best way. Financially, outsourcing makes sense. I get that. It makes sense on paper, but we do give up some control. We don't give up all control. We would have a contract with whoever we decide to go with. And, if they want to keep the business long-term, they're going to have to, service it the way we expect, and we can always rebid it later. But for some period of time, we will be, be with that company. Mm-hmm. But I would ask, if we do that outsourcing and save whatever amount of money here, then, that's something we should add something back to the public. I think that's what's not being discussed here, is what could be added back, and that is, whether, maybe it's repaving the streets on an accelerated schedule, keep it in the Public Works department, those savings, and, we could do more with the savings than we're doing now, and I think that's really how it should be framed. So right now, I want to make the investments, keep it in-house. I'm not sure that that's, even if I wanted to do that, I'm not sure that you all want to do that, and I'm saying the staff, but I'm willing to make that investment. Commissioner May.
Thank you to everyone that came and spoke today. Appreciate hearing your thoughts and concerns, and thank you to the staff and members that we met with discussing this. It is a hot topic. I've always seen it as an opportunity for us to use future monies and staff time to focus on things that, could be more of a quality of life issue for those of us that live here, an economic driver. I look at partnering with whichever companies we so choose to go with, if we choose to privatize. I think those companies are going to be motivated to succeed and deliver the best product they can, because that's all they do. The city does, as we all know, a massive amount of different specialties and services that we offer, but to have someone who just takes care of the solid waste, I believe they'll be motivated. Their name's on the line, and they've proven themselves in other communities. And knowing what future capital expenditures we have, and facing as we grow, I would see that as an opportunity to save that recurring expenditure to keep the operation running. Now, certainly, if we get to a point where we feel like we can sustain in-house and continue to fund it appropriately and not, I guess the best way I could sum it up is it feels like we're really pushing the department to succeed at a rate that doesn't feel sustainable to me, and that is my concern, is, if you keep a car running at 8,000 RPMs, it'll only go so far before it quits. And when I'm sitting here, I would love a solution to keep it in-house. But I do see it as an opportunity to partner with someone and give us those time and resources to invest back in other ways.
Commissioner Smith-Willis.
And the last thing I want to say is, this is a very large decision to make, especially as a newly elected official. When I think about services and when I think about the longevity on what this decision might come to, I would love to see that we can sustain this in-house, but I also feel like right now we're on a time constraint. There are needs that need to be immediately met at this current moment to get the services back to what the community is asking. Some of the feedback that I have received is, why don't we have recycling weekly again? And I just feel like at this rate that we're at right now, I think if something else happened tomorrow, knock on wood, unfortunately, we would already have a problem sustaining what we are statutorily responsible for. So I just feel like when I'm looking at some of these options, after talking to the other commissioners, the mayor, the community, I've talked to the people on my street, I've talked to some small businesses, and it just feels like people are also torn on this decision. But just in terms of services and longevity and also future development here in Frankfort, I'm not gonna live here forever. Like I might not be here, but my child will be. So what things are gonna be here for his quality of life, on top of, are we gonna have services, partner with people that this is their wheelhouse, this is their expertise. I want to get it right while I'm here in my seat. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And again, I really appreciate both of you coming to voice things, because it definitely, I lose sleep over stuff like this at nighttime. So I appreciate you all bringing your feedback to the table.
Well, Commissioner Unger?
Have we talked to the county about a contract with them potentially, or working with them if we were to vote to outsource?
Sorry, I'm going to speak out of term. I asked this question. I think they are still in the middle of their current contract. We would have to wait, don't quote me, State Journal, maybe 2 years, I think, before their contract is up, before we could approach that conversation. So I still feel like that's not going to fix the immediate need, but that is an option. But I feel like that's something that we would have to make the decision now and then approach when we come to it.
Terry, would you like to answer that?
In discussions with both of the entities that responded to our RFP, it seemed, I don't know that we asked, I've not spoken to the county about, directly about combining. We did talk about, would there be savings in combining the two areas, the two service areas? And my takeaway from those conversations was that, generally speaking, a city's rates are going to be, if the city and county put out an RFP for the same thing at the same time, the rates that they would charge a city would be ever so slightly less than what would be charged to a county, and that's due mostly to density. And that by combining them, there's the potential for a small amount of savings, but not necessarily big discount savings, because the number of households served, the number of stops made is still the same. The, tonnage that's being collected and dumped is still the same, and the mileage on their vehicles and their human hours are still the same. So, yeah, my takeaway was that by combining, there might be a tiny savings, but it didn't seem like it was necessarily a lot. Does that sort of, okay.
There's no 50,000 population threshold that, once you hit that, then you get it.
That was, yeah, that
There's
might,
not-
yeah.
No threshold like that.
Again, I'm
that we need to be-
not the expert in this, but that was my understanding, yes, yes.
Commissioner May?
Have we talked about, with any of the entities, about the contracts getting started? Having, is there minimum amount of years that we have to agree to at the jump, or can we, if we chose to move forward with the outsourcing, do we still have the opportunity to ask for a year-to-year for, say, the first 3 years, to make sure that we're happy with how things are going and tweak it if needed?
When we sent the RFP out, we said that our intention was to issue a 5-year contract with the option to renew for another 5, so up to 10 years.
Okay.
The responses that we received were based on a 5-year and possible 5-year contract. In talking to the companies, we did discuss other options, like having 5 2-year terms instead of 2 5-year terms. And so the feedback that I got was that, at least initially, in order to keep prices lower around where they were quoted, they need about a 5-year contract for that first time, and for that first stint at least, because that is how they're going to, they have to put some capital into it up front, whether it be vehicles, routing, hiring personnel. And in order for them to recoup those initial costs, they need to look at spreading that cost out over a 5-year term. Does that?
That makes sense.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Commissioner Richardson?
And am I right on this quote? We only have about 36% participation rate in recycling.
That is correct. Last time we looked, and I don't know exactly when that was, but it was recent-ish, we had approximately 36% participation rate. And that's not 36% of households with recycle bins, that's 36% that are putting their carts out for collection. So,
Okay.
yes.
Which in turn can affect the pricing
Correct. Yes,
to
so.
favor the city.
It could, yes. So we received, of the 2 bids, we received 2 types of breakdowns. One had a lump sum, trash and recycle together. One had it broken out, trash and recycle. They both have the ability to do both kinds of quotes, but yes, if you're looking at breaking it out, trash fee, recycle fee, and charging only for those households that participate in recycling, the overall charges are going to be slightly higher for each, because it's more administrative work for the company doing it. But at 36%, it could be lower for us if we're footing the bill to have it broken out. Conversely, if we're trying to encourage recycling and we're trying to get our numbers back up to where they once were, there will come a point where that tips, right? And it goes the other way, where it'll be cheaper for us to go with a contract that has a lump sum price that's administratively less work for the provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And am I correct? We are a pass-through for recycling. Is that fair to say?
Currently, yes, the citizen does the sorting, hopefully correctly at home. The citizen puts it out to the curb. We collect it, we take it back to our recycle center on Rouse. There's some sorting that occurs to try to get out as much trash as we can. We load it, and then we have a contract to have it hauled to Lexington, where it is ultimately truly sorted and packaged and sold. Yes.
Can I make a motion?
You may make a
I'm
motion.
going to make a motion for, we enter in a partnership, not specific to any one of these bids, and we pay for it.
Okay.
The motion is to, how specific do we need to be on this?
Yeah, I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't specific enough.
Is that specific enough? Motion to direct staff to proceed with partnering with a private company to outsource according to one of these proposals. Is it, are we deciding which proposal tonight if we?
I would like
this motion?
not to decide which one.
Is there a way that if we proceed forward with this, that proposal A and B, and C's not even on here no more, A and B, is there a way that we can, they can communicate to the public as well, what is to come from? Or are we still like on a time constraint? Sorry.
Let's get the motion down.
I'm gonna second the motion.
Yeah, okay. We have a motion to direct staff to proceed with partnering with one of these private companies to bring back a contract.
I think proceed is enough. We'll also have to look at any potential franchise requirements and some other things. I just don't want it to be too
Right.
limited.
That's why I kind of tried to make it a little broad.
Sure.
All right, we have a motion to direct staff to proceed with partnering with one of these private firms. And along with that motion, the city would absorb the cost.
Yes.
Second.
Then we have a second. All right, any other discussion on this? Commissioner Unger?
I'd just like to, if we're moving for outsourcing and the year two final estimated costs here, I want to make sure I'm understanding this. It says pay for service, maintain all staff on page 3.
Yes.
And the year two final cost is, for the low end and the high end, it is technically more than what we have listed for the do nothing, keep it in-house, and the in-house beefed up services. Is that right?
Correct, but not all of those costs are for solid waste. Again, that
It includes the salary
the
of keeping
1.45.
staff.
Yes.
To do other things.
Correct.
Okay, I understand that. So if we're talking about potentially keeping staff, which I would love to do, not saying I don't want to lose anybody, at what point are we gonna feel like we have to charge for outsourcing? I just feel like it's gonna come really fast. And I want everybody here that's voting for that to think about what that looks like in the next couple of years. I mean, just putting it out there.
Commissioner Smith-Wills?
If we did keep it in-house, at what point would it never come a time that a fee would not go on in the households?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like if it ever comes to that, which I would hope that it would not, but if it does come to that, I would want the service to be so well executed that it is a service that is worth taking care of. Right now, I feel like the feedback that I've received, understanding that you've had good feedback, I've also heard not the best feedback either. So I feel like if a fee is ever gonna go on, is it well worth it? Just kind of where I'm at with this.
Just one last thing, if it's okay.
Commissioner Unger?
This is just like huge decision. It's really hard. I'm like, once it goes, it's not coming back. That's all I gotta say. I love that we have a bit of control to change and work with the department and just figure out how to keep things running better if we have to. So just putting it out there. I'm willing to do that work.
Commissioner Richardson?
I might add, we talked about, and Mayor, you mentioned this about what the positive for the public. Let's look at the positive. Some of the positives, just to name some, we still have to keep some trucks for special events in
Correct.
sanitation pickup. We could possibly do more with bulk pickup with what we have, the personnel and the trucks we have. Am I correct?
Possible, yeah.
And yard waste.
Yard
right?
waste, definitely,
Yard,
yes.
those are things that we could pick up a little more with having, and again, I'm not talking about getting rid of staff, but what I do know, having been a long-time government employee, Tier 1 days are over. And what I know about going across the state of Kentucky, all government, Tier 3 is not retaining employees for any city right now. I would have to say, if we done a study, we don't have HR here, is it a fair say that the turnover rate with Tier 3 is much different than it is with Tier 2 and Tier 1 employees?
Absolutely.
And that is out of our control. So we have to, as a government, we have to think about things that are not in our control when it comes to a pension and everything else. Those things are affecting cities all across Kentucky. And when I talk to other cities, that's what they take into consideration when it comes to entering into a partnership and privatization about, we may have some of our employees want to go work for these two entities, right? Because as a Tier 3 employee, we can only pay so much, right?
Correct.
We cannot be competitive with the private sector. I know that.
Unfortunately.
In really a lot of ways, right? In a lot of ways, different ways. So that's where this is coming from. I cannot predict the future. I would hope that maybe while we're digging out there, do we own the property out there at the paddocks? Is that ours technically?
The whole property?
Where the target is?
No.
I thought if they were digging and they struck some gold, we would be good. I'm trying to add some humor,
Some of it.
right? I'm trying to add a little bit of humor to the mere fact of the doomsday thing that's going on. But what I'm trying to say is, this is, and Commissioner Unger makes a good point, this is not an easy decision. We've talked about it, but after looking, I've got the budget pulled right up, this reserve estimates that
I'd
Amber
like to
gave.
see that.
Yeah.
Can I get that in an email?
Well, I asked for this. I
I
asked
know.
for this almost monthly, because we ebb and flow through the budget. And I can tell you right now, we bought 3 police cars at $199,000, and we need more police cars. And and I know, the fire chief, we need ambulances. Am I correct on that, Mr. City
Correct.
Manager?
Correct.
I will.
It's okay.
Those things are vitally important to our community. I'm not trying to say a garbage truck isn't, but we have to choose. And I'm choosing an ambulance and a police car, all right? I'm just kind of going to go with that, so I'm done. I do hope we strike gold out there.
I just want to, on Commissioner Younger's point on the dollar amounts here, that it does assume that we would keep in the 4.3 million next year in our all-in cost. So first year, in any scenario, we're in the good because of the potential upfront for the.
Yes.
But the next year it would be more, but that's keeping all staff in to do other things. Now, realistically, some are going to go to the private
Yeah.
firms, so,
Yeah.
but some won't because of the Tier 1 status. So it's still, financially, it does make sense, I get it. I just want to, if we are ever going to consider adding a fee to this, I think we just keep it in-house. I mean, and just charge for it now, and do that. But personally, I don't think it's I think property taxes should cover your waste management pickup, even though every other community around us and perhaps throughout the whole state besides Franklin County charges extra, or they bill it to you directly. So almost every other citizen in the state's paying for this service some way, somehow, except in Frankfort and Franklin County. But I think that is a differentiator. I think it is something that sets us apart, and I want to keep it that way. So I just want to say, if we're ever thinking about charging a fee, let's make the commitment now to just keep it in-house and do it the way we need to do it. But if that's not the case, I think where we stand right now is that, I mean, frankly, the service has gone down the last couple of years. We didn't have recycle for a year, and we dropped it from weekly to bi-weekly, and I think so and we've now made it harder to do yard waste. We still collect it, but we have to make an appointment. We have diminished the services the way things have been going. So for me, outsourcing will enable us to bring that service level back and keep more money to do other things that the public expects us to do, like the streets. I think we keep going back to the streets. I do think we need to add something else to this, and that is something with yard waste, composting, something else we need to, we're gonna have staff to do it, we're gonna have the trucks to do it if we move forward with the outsourcing on the actual waste management pickup and recycling. Commissioner Smith-Willis, did you have a?
No, I forgot. Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion to proceed with a private company in partnership on this without charging the public? Commissioner May?
And just to make clear, this is just directing staff to move forward. This isn't an agreement that we're gonna do it. We still get a chance to review contracts.
We have a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And we can still say, you know what? No, we're gonna keep it in-house when we get that back.
That is, this gives us the direction to know that that's how you all want us to keep moving this.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Thank you, Commissioner May, because that jogged my brain about what I was going to ask earlier. Is it, now that we've agreed to proceed forward, I guess my question is for next step action items in my head. When and if everything goes well contractually, is there a way for transparency and visibility, and so that we don't let the State Journal write our narrative? Is there a way to be able to perfectly execute and communicate what the options are for households and families and landlords and all the people? Or is
Do you mean,
whatever options that,
after we sign, or after we sign? Oh, definitely.
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. I think
like a
there
town
will be
hall form, of some sort?
Whatever, yeah, I mean, whatever's best in terms of getting, I mean, I imagine if we do this, it's a change for everybody, so I imagine there's a lot of outreach.
Right.
Different formats. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I ask the clerk to call for the vote.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
No.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith-Willis?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. Motion carries. That's it for unfinished business. Any new business to come before the board? Any board comments? Anything anybody would like to say?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.